Hello, bright ones. Happy full moon in Aries, and here's some sacred smudge. White sage to help just to clear your channel so that on this day you can bring through positive and helpful spirits, messages, guidance. So, supermoon, and apparently there's going to be a few supermoons now till the end of the year. The energy is going to feel more of a pressure cooker going forward. I know this whole year has felt like that for many of us, and it's going to squeeze more and potentially into next year as well. The full moon is always a time that can help us to that can bring up in people their shadow, their traumas, their things still left unresolved, to help them to when something's brought up for us, what it means is we notice it, and when we notice it we can then do something about it. So it may feel like the same things are coming up that has come up quite a lot of times that we think we might have dealt with or released, but they may come up again, and that's okay, because it just means there's some final bits to do, and that's okay. Or it might even be brought up to even notice, so that we say, oh, actually I used to get very triggered with that, or I used to feel so intensely, and now I can just observe that more, without actually getting entangled in the thought and the emotion involved. So it's a good day for journaling. It's an absolutely good day for putting your crystals out, and the crystals that speak with me of my collections are usually more of the clear quartz and the celestials, and the anything that's more like on the darker or the browner ones, like like smoky quartz, any kind of hematites, any kind of obsidians, jet, all of that. Just for me, the difference between the sun, the moon, the different moons, they particularly seem to like the light for cleansing and recharging in the full moon. So also with the Aries, we might notice today that a lot of people around us may be quite triggering or being quite triggered. So call your guides, call your allies, ask for protection against other people's thoughts, emotions that be firing shots around into the atmosphere. And also be conscious about your thoughts and responses and behaviours today, and in the next few days. Obviously, it doesn't just it's the leading up and a few days either side of the actual moon. There's a lot of astrology that's changing and kicking off right now. So there's also a lot of Neptune energy. There's a lot of other planets and comets and stuff that are to do also with very watery energy. So some people may be having past life thoughts that come from Lemuria, in particular, in Atlantis, because there's some some night sky activity that's linked with Hawaii and goddesses and gods there. So also, just being aware of your emotions and thoughts, and if other people around you start kicking off or behaving unpredictably. You know, just be aware that it's not you, it's their triggers being triggered. And so I pulled 3 cards from the Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland, and one of them was forgiveness. So on this day, I don't know if that's mirrored, I can't tell, but anyway, it's the full moon and forgiveness. So as much as you can be for yourself and for others and for everything that's happened in your life and who you are, whatever it is, and for other people around you, as much as you can, keep that feeling and that thought about forgiveness. Because for the world to change, we have to start letting things go. We have to start actually being the change inside. And even if people around us are behaving badly or out of character, does not mean we have to add to that energy. We can be authentic. We can be in our highest state. So another card I pulled was Moon Goddess, Higher Power. I was remembering as well in this time of ascension, this time of clearing, to call on your guides, call on your higher self. Remember, you're multi-dimensional. So by taking time to really connect up into your higher selves, bringing that guidance, bringing that peace, that calm, you know, it doesn't matter if you have to do it 100 times a day, so that it enables you to remain in a more level emotional and thought state, or for help when you get into a triggered state, because your guides and team can't do anything without you asking. So always remember that you have your team around you. Particularly October is a time of ancestral connection and remembrance and honouring. So, you know, call on the enlightened ancestors, call on the healing ancestors, call on the ancestors that love and support you to come and surround you with their protection, with their guidance, with their power. And also the other card I've pulled this twice now, once yesterday, once today, is love. So, and that's called the day moon. But I love the picture on that. It's very, I think, autumnal with the mushrooms and all that going on. So, and the colours. So, you know, remember that how we see the world will be what we're feeding into. So if we see the world from a you know, a place that the world is a dangerous, scary, and you know, violent, horrible place, that's where our perception will take, you know, that attention will be on those things. And the more that we focus on those things, the more energy we put into those things, and the more then that perpetual cycle keeps going, and the more that will keep us in fear, anxiety, worry, stress. And actually, that's what we would like to be stepping out of, back into feeling of love, feeling of remembering we are more, remembering that, you know, we have that compassion, that forgiveness, that acceptance. And when I say forgiveness, that doesn't mean, you know, we have to, you know, align with and agree with someone else's words, behaviours. It doesn't mean that at all. But it does not mean that we can, you know, it's good for us to react in the same way back, with the same energy, with the same violence, with the same triggering. That's what we're talking about. Because we cannot control what people around us think, say, do, but we can only bring that power back to ourselves and remember that we are more than just a body, that we have the whole of creation to call on. And this moon energy, again, can help really bring in that, to lift those layers of sadness, depression, anxiety, anger, to help soften them. So we can really, you know, use that moon moon energy to help that. Also, you know, it's Aries, and Aries is very fire. So if there's something, you know, that we've wanted to be starting and have been procrastinating, or, you know, that we just need that spark more lit, if we've been too sad, too cry, there's never too, but I just mean that we want to try and step out of that highly volatile and emotional, vulnerable state, then connecting with the fire within us, that spark, then that's a really helpful time, an auspicious time now to help connect with that fire and ask it to grow our inner spark, our inner flame. Because that flame connects us right back to the very first campfire of creation, the very first spark. We're all created from the very, very first spark, creator spark, the very, very first fire. So this fire moon as well can really help us to cleanse and to bring that energy right back. And the October as well is, you know, lots of people, there's talk of shadow work and trauma, but the ancestors are also powerful. They're the survivors. Each line survived, and that's why we are here. That's why we have been given life, because each of our ancestors back survived to give birth, to survive, to give birth to, you know, and they've all got their own gifts, powers. They've all got medicine that they can feed into us. So it's remembering also this month to connect with the powerful ancestors who have healing gifts, that have the gifts of prophecy, that have, you know, that have that fire that can help us to keep going through these times, that they can help surround us and give us protection. So I hope this was helpful, and whatever you do, you know, put out your crystals, have a shower with or bath with salts to cleanse away the energies of the old month, to bring in the new ones, and, you know, keep shining your light. Ask the moon, how can I be the brightest I can be right now? Okay, blessings. Take care.